All right, let's take a look at the third play in our 20 series, the post wheel. This is play number 23 in the playbook. I say it's the third play in the 20 series. That means it builds off of what Deep Cross and Mesh are doing for our offense in the Air Raid 5v5. I really like this play. It's one of two plays in the playbook that I consider Swiss Army knives. Those are plays that you can use against any defense. If you're not sure what the defense is, if you're just looking to probe a little bit for weaknesses, number 23 post wheel and number 11 Dragon Smash are both good options. But let's take a look at post wheel and why that is the case with this. So we're back in our base formation here with blue, the tight end center there, green in the slot, purple on the outside at our receiver position. Orange are all around the receiver here on the left side, quarterback back in the shotgun, taking the snap from blue. So when I say that this builds off of the rest of the 20 series, it's very, very similar from the snap what it's showing the defense. If you remember from Deep Cross and from Mesh, blue and green are both running in this direction on a flat route from blue and a deep cross at 10 yards from green. This time, all we're doing is switching directions on that. So it looks very similar, just like a flipped play, with blue coming out here on that 5-yard flat route, and orange this time getting to 10 yards on the crosser, coming across there. Where we get a little bit interesting is where we add a couple of deep threats here on the right side with green and purple. So again, purple, typically a long speedster, pretty good hands, taller kid. Green is normally one of our better athletes, very quick, shifty in space. So we're trying to get these two open deeper down the field for a big play. So that starts with, just like on Deep Cross and Mesh, a post from purple. So that looks exactly the same to the defenders on that side of the field. And then green is gonna run this wheel route and sneak in behind purple and head down the field, down the sideline. So what we're trying to do is get the defenders, the primary over here, is get the defenders on this side of the field crossed up so that we can free up one of these deep routes. If that doesn't work out for us, then we've got 1-2 check down routes that should be open for us. And we'll take a look at each individual defense and each coverage to show you how that's gonna happen. So we'll start out, there's 4 main defenses you're going to run up against in 5v5 flag football. There's a cover 3 zone, cover 2 zone, cover 1 zone, and then a man-to-man. And like in our other videos, we're going to start with looking at cover 3. So cover 3 has 3 safeties over the top and 2 linebackers splitting the shallow part of the field. And here's what those zones might look like, should look like. So 3 safeties covering everything 10 yards and deeper all the way to the back of the end zone, 2 linebackers splitting the field 10 yards and shallower, covering up any of your short routes. So against a cover 3, because they've got 3 players in the deep zones, they can pretty well cover these 2 routes out here. There's not a lot we can do if they play assignment sound football and the outside safety runs with the wheel routes and the inside safety takes this post to the middle of the field. There's not a lot we can do there. But because we're playing against elementary and middle school age kids, assignment sound football doesn't always happen. So what we see happen a lot of times is this purple post will break out deep and cut towards the middle. And yes, this center safety will pick it up, take it right there. But also we can get this safety to follow for 3 or 4 steps. And that might be all we need to open up a patch of grass right here for that wheel route. Now it's going to be a short completion to the wheel, somewhere around 10 to 15 yards, but there's going to be a ton of green grass and only 1 player to beat for that receiver. So it's a really, really good play if you can catch that safety sneaking inside with a post. Otherwise, let's say they play it how they're supposed to, and the middle safety takes the post, the outside safety covers the wheel, like this and like that, then what are we looking at? Again, we're having our quarterback just figure out where's the open grass, where do we have numbers in our favor, and get the ball to the biggest patch of open grass in that area. So that would be in the shallow 5 to 10 yard zone right here. Because this linebacker cannot cover everything from half of the field all the way over to the sideline with 2 separate receivers running into their zones. So it might be a 10-yard pass underneath the safeties that we hit here, or it might be this 5-yard flat route where we're looking for a catch and run from the center tight end, our blue receiver. Either way, we're good with that because cover 3 is so heavy on the deep zone protection. There should be a lot of running room here to where your players can take a 5-yard pitch and catch and turn it into 15 yards fairly regularly. So that's a cover 3. Good options against this, especially if you get a safety that's a little bit overeager to cover that post route. It opens up a ton of things that you can have available for your quarterback. For cover 2, it's not a ton different, honestly, which is why this is such a good Swiss Army knife type of play, because your quarterback, the reads are going to be very similar on most of these defenses. So with a cover 2, got our 2 safeties set up back here in the deep zones, covering that, a corner over here, linebacker here, and a corner out here in the flat. As if you've seen our other videos, there's the zones. If you've seen our other videos, typically what we see, especially as we get into the older age groups, your 9, 10, 11-year-olds, maybe not so much at the younger levels, this linebacker's coming to blitz because the quarterbacks become talented enough that they can't just let them sit back there with no pressure. So that opens up, if that linebacker blitzes, put them there instead, opens up a huge patch of grass right here in the middle to hit. We also should have one up top here with this safety, because this safety can't get all the way across the field. This safety has to make a choice. Are they going to stay wide with the wheel, or are they going to cover this post route going towards the middle? And so if they widen with the wheel, there's a gap between the 2 safeties for us to place the ball. And if they choose the other direction and the safety runs with this post route, then this deep outside zone should just be completely uncovered for you. Your quarterback doesn't even have to make a great throw. They just have to put it somewhere close to the green receiver so that they can run under it and get a big play. So multiple options there. A quick hitter across the middle, they can go deep. And then again, just like it against the cover 3, we've also got a situation over here with this cornerback where they're in a zone that we're running 2 players towards. And so they have to make a choice between blue running the flat route at 5 yards or orange coming across the top at 10 yards. Most corners are going to go and cover the first person that crosses their face. So blue's going to get covered here. Your quarterback should be able to sneak in the orange route right behind them with that crosser. So this just against cover 2 has tons of options. Even if the defense plays it perfectly, there's going to be opportunity for a gain, a catch and run, a big gain over the top, whatever they do. So I like post wheel a lot against the cover 2. It gives you options at all 3 levels. Now against the cover 1, if you've watched any of our other videos about how to defeat a cover 1, we'll get it sketched up here. You know that if the offense runs multiple deep routes into a cover 1 safety, that's exactly where we want the quarterback looking right away. Because this safety here, get it sketched, there's a safety, corner, 2 linebackers, one of them's blitzing, and a corner out here. This safety has everything deep. They're on an island back there, and we're gonna put 2 of our better athletes running straight at them. So the post route holds them in the middle of the field. The green route goes up the sideline, hopefully to a ton of open grass outside. Orange and green are both going to hold this cornerback in that zone so they can't follow because they've got somebody headed into their zone. Zone rules say if somebody is in your zone, you have to cover them. You can't sink back deep. So it opens up a ton of opportunity here where your quarterback really just has to take a look at this player and decide which of these two guys to throw to. Because they're either going to stick with this post route, which is most often because it's coming right at them, and then throw it to the outside. Or if the safety, maybe you've run it a couple of times and beat them a couple of times, and the safety cheats and runs towards the wheel route, then your post route is coming across the middle with absolutely nobody in that zone. So with cover one, we just have all the grass out here, and your quarterback just has to pick who's open. We can also squeeze it in here, but against cover one, we're looking for a big play. They're showing us that they don't respect our ability to throw it deep, so we want to prove it. We can at least throw it out there. Even if your kid doesn't catch the ball or your quarterback misses it, as long as they're close, you're going to scare that other coach out of running cover one against you. And when they switch to something else, then other things underneath are going to open up. Okay, so that's one. And the last defense we'll talk about is the man-to-man. So we'll have a linebacker here, corner, and then either a safety or a blitzer. If there's a safety there, that's all right. You read it pretty much like a cover one, because that safety can only cover so much ground back there, and they have to choose between those two deep routes that are running at them. What you're going to see more often than not is an extra player that's coming on a blitz here. So they'll go man-to-man here, man-to-man here, man-to-man here, and then a blitzer coming after your quarterback to rush the throw. The beauty of a wheel route on this coverage is that a wheel route is not get down the field and look at the quarterback at 10 yards or 15 yards or something like that. This running back should be looking for the ball immediately and then continuing immediately when they get to the sideline, and then continuing down the field looking at the quarterback. So if this rush gets there too fast, your quarterback automatically has 1-2 outlets. They could throw it to blue or green and be successful and get a good catch and run going, get that yards after catch. If they don't do that, what we see happen a lot is green and purple over here against man-to-man are typically the players that pop open. For whatever reason, youth defenders cannot figure out this crossing action at the beginning of the play. They get their legs crossed up, they trip, they fall behind because of a quick hesitation, and all of a sudden they're 3 yards behind your offensive receiver running towards open grass, and they can't catch up because these are typically two of our better athletes. They're pretty quick, they're long and rangy, and once we get a step or two, your quarterback should be able to put it on the money for a huge gain. So we really like this play when we need a big play against man-to-man. So we love mesh when we need short and intermediate plays against man-to-man. This is our go-to for when we need, maybe it's 3rd and 15 or something like that, and we need something big. So that's the 4 defenses. We went through cover 3, cover 2, cover 1, and man-to-man. Again, this is a Swiss Army knife. There's not really a defense I would not call post wheel against. It's really situational. Do you really need a big play because it's 3rd and long? Do you need it because you haven't tested them deep yet to see how good their safeties are? There's all kinds of reasons to call it, but it's a really fun one that can open up for some deep plays, especially to a couple of receivers that should be pretty good at taking a deep ball to the house. So again, that wraps up the 20 series. There's only 3 plays in it. They work really, really well together. Run them in combinations to get the defense very crossed up and confused. 21 with deep cross is the base play. Show them something that seems pretty simple, then run something that's a little counterintuitive with mesh, taking advantage of the crossing routes, and then punish them deep with something like post wheel. That's what we like to do. I hope you have success with it as well.